My name is Camila Gonzalez. I am 16 years old and I work for Fridays for Future Mexico. I will be 26 years old when, according to the IPCC report, we will have surpassed the target of limiting global temperatures to 1.5 degrees Celsius. Staying below 1.5 degrees Celsius requires slashing global greenhouse gases emissions to 45% below 2010 levels by 2030 and reaching net zero by 2050. 10 years to act. Might seem like a lot. It really isn't. Think about how old will you be in 10 years? I will be fresh out of college. I will be 26 years old. Remember what you did when you were 26. I am scared and I feel helpless. I like to think of the climate crisis as a great wave looming over our heads. It's a tsunami threatening civilization as we know it. It's threatening to tear apart our lives as we know them. And it is us, all of us without exception, that will have to struggle to find air to survive. However, it is the youth that will have to deal with the after effects of this crisis. It is us, the youth and the future generations, who will have to rebuild civilization. There is always a will to act, but the youth has a different fire. You see, we act before we think too much. We do think. But we haven't lived in this earth too long as to really understand the dangers that have been presented to us. But we have lived long enough in this planet to understand that in a crisis, you have to act. We have been deprived of the privileges you once considered the norm: clean air, clean water. That is a basic need every human should have. And we, the youth and future generations, are the ones who have to pay the price. I always say, be hopeful, for that is what keeps us afloat. That is what makes us believe that there is light at the end of the tunnel. But be fearful, because that is what will help us solve this imminent crisis. I will just leave you with a really short question for you to reflect on. What are you going to do to solve this crisis? What are you going to do when you get home today to help us have a future and your children and grandchildren? Tomorrow is another day, and there is still light at the end of the tunnel. It's a path we must take, and we must take it quickly, because time is running out, and the youth is afraid. You should be afraid. Thank you.